Hey everybody. In this post, I'm going to go back to this one area I labeled mining. At first it looked to me as like farming terracing. And I have a previous post on that, but that's not why I'm coming back here. I want to re-look at this object, which I find very strange. Yeah, it's a rock, apparently. And this post is going to be really talking about how important it would be for various people, more than there are now, because there's not many people that are doing this type of research. And it is meticulous and it's grueling. You can go over thousands of miles of images and find absolutely nothing for weeks. But if you had more people doing this, we would be able, I think, to identify some very interesting things. Because this is not the best image here. But there are things in here that I think people need to see. Now this image was taken at 12/18/2011. I'm going to back it up to 2/18/2010. It gets extremely pixelated. There's seems to be a lot more snow coverage. But what drives my attention is what's here next to this strange looking rock is this perfectly round, upright structure with what looks like a turbine in the center. You see that, yeah? Right here. And if you look, there is something coming out of it straight on down. Like a pipe or I don't know, something. Now, there is another layer that's a little earlier, but just look at this for a second. See how everything's blurred, but you can clearly see this perfect circle and this perfect line coming straight down like this, all the way over here. And then, at this crest, over here, you've got this line right here. And it goes down into various areas I've been exploring. But what it looks like is that you've got some kind of machinery here. Right here. Now let's go to the previous image, which actually the previous image, 2/9/2010, only a couple weeks earlier, you still have a partial section of that circular piece right there, but you see this big blob of blurriness right here. And you can also see, let's go back and forth. This is 2009-2010, or 2/9/2010, 2/18/2010. All right, they figured this one was too pixelated, too refracted with light for anybody to really get anything out of this, but they're wrong. They're wrong. Because right here you can see the full circular upright object, and if you go back, all you see is its corner right here. And the rest of everything is just kind of blurred out. They messed with this image. You can still see this line as it goes straight down like this. And you can even see over here, they didn't bother to mess with this portion here, which goes down into, like I said, oblivion. Perhaps even down into the ground. Now, let's go back to 2011. What's interesting about this is it's clear editing. Clearly. Why? Because right here, you can see the blurriness of that perfect circular object right here. And you can see the line coming straight out of it. So you see this blob See how it's blurred, and messed around? But see, there's still that straight object. They didn't hide it all that well. And if you come down to where it jets down into the ground over here, you do see a line right here, this black line, but it's embedded in the snow image. Now I know that's really difficult to see, but this is why I would love to find other people that are playing around with this to start looking at the same images, start sharing notes. Is it machinery? Is it editing? Are they hiding shit from us? See, these are the answers I want to seek. You know, so many questions here. And I do have something new I want to share. And this is intriguing. This is very intriguing. And I have played with this with every angle that I could possibly attempt to have. And I still come up with the same conclusion. Right here, I've got labeled statue. And as I zoom in, you'll see what I mean. This right here looks to me like a carved statue, like a sitting figure with its arms in its lap and something down below between its legs or feet. Now, what sucks is this is so blurry. And I would have looked at this as I turn it, examine it, look at the direction the sun's coming from, look at the shadows. It just, I would have dismissed it, but I couldn't because of this shadow right here. That black line shadow is in the exact same shape as the front portion curvature of the shadow. You can see the belly here. You can see this bowl-shaped item down here. It's clearly shadowing on to a surface, which means this object is not fully a part of its background. It's hard to explain. I hope you guys see it. The only other way, I mean, I could pull it around like this and try to get a perspective, right? But it still retains it. Even this thing is so blurred, but at the same time it retains its shape and its integrity as far as shadow and light, that I had to come to that conclusion. This thing is standing separate from its background and casting a shadow. And it is in the shape of, I would say, a quite typical statue. Now, this is crude. I don't trust the measurements they give you on these rulers. But to give you an idea, at least an approximate, 180 feet tall. The only other perspective that actually made sense to me that it could be taken from was here, where you have a platform, and on that platform you have this giant object. Now I prefer to take the statue because this would actually mean I'm saying that's a spaceship or a UFO or some kind of craft. Not as believable as that being a statue. And besides that, if everybody knows how to pull themselves out from an image and get themselves aligned to as clear an area as possible, and then try to figure out what angle the camera took from the satellite. And it's hard to do, but if you have enough practice at it, you'll see. And that's one of the most important things, is to get the angle right as the perspective from the camera of the satellite took the image, because otherwise everything's going to be distorted. Everything's going to be just tweaked. And I do have an item there. In fact, what I was looking at was that 2-tower structure. But I wanted to get that angle I thought was right for the satellite image, or the satellite camera to take. And still, I get that. This image looks like a statue to me. I think this is intriguing. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm working on going live. I hope to do so within the next week or two. I'm getting together my software, teaching myself how to do it. I see I've gained a few subscribers. That's awesome. I want anybody that's interested in this stuff, come on in. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's share notes. Thanks for watching.